So heaven yours with Deepak. So today here will be solving this pattern. This pattern, which you can also say that as a Rangoli pattern. Okay. So here we'll be doing this. So here we have to create this kind of pattern. So how could we do this thing? How could we do this thing? So before this, I wanna ask you this thing. If let's say this is the pattern. Okay. This is the pattern which you have to create. How will you create? How will you create this pattern? Okay. How? So here it's called as hollow rectangle pattern. So here as you can see here, let's say this I throw is there, this I throw, and this is the jth column. So whenever I equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whenever I equals to 0, we have to print this star. Whenever I equals to 4, we have to print this star. Whenever j equals to 0, I have to print this star. Whenever j equals to 4, we have to print this star. That is, at the starting index and at the last index we have to print star, then only we'll get this hollow rectangle. Simple. So if you have understood this, if you want to write this problem, then we can write this something like this. Okay. So what we have to do here is this thing. That is, we are iterating this I and j. So here we will be near of the nested loop. So here let's say for, and that will start from 0 and it will go till what? As you can see here, it will go till 4. That's okay. And here we'll just increment it, and now here I want nested loop as well. So here I will make that as well here. So the terminating condition is what? Same, is 4, and then j plus plus. So here what condition is there? Whenever I equals to 0 and whenever I equals to n, whenever j equals to 0 and whenever j equals to n, that is starting index as well as the last index, at that point I have to print star. So here if there will be if condition, what I have to do, and there will be else condition. If it is not the condition, if the condition is else, if condition is false, then what should I do? Let's say if I equals to 0, or if I equals to n, or if I equals to, sorry, j equals to 0, or as j equals to n, in that case I have to return a star here. So here I'll just do that star. Okay. Or else what do I have to print? If not, if this is not the key, if this is not the case, then here I have to print only a spaces. Here I have to print only spaces. Okay. So here I have to do something like this. So instead of star, I'll print just a single space here. If I run this, it should give me output has that hollow rectangle. Because here I have not declared any initialize and n, so here because it's a hard coded, it's a spell mistake here, and now I should give the output. Why it's giving like this? Because here it is giving the output correctly, but here after each line I want a space, I want a line spacing. So here after this for loop, something that is like this inner loop, I have to print a space as well, single line spacing as well there. So here I'll just write ln, and it will give me a line spacing there, and now it should give me a hollow rectangle. So here it is. So if you have understood this, then here the same concept will be applying here. So what is it? It is same concept. If you have understood this thing, then we can easily do all this thing. Okay. So it is just for the understanding purpose I have created this, but here instead of this line I have to print star. So here I will just quickly erase it. So here we have to print something like this pattern. this kind of pattern we have to print. So here, how could I do this? The four condition we already know, that is this four condition: when I equals to 0, when I equals to n, and when j equals to 0, and when j equals to n. So here, let's say, if I just show you here, let's say here it is index 0. I'll just minimize. Okay, index 0, index 1, index 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here 10. But here, as you can see, there is not 10 stars. There is total 11 stars. Has because it is an indexing that is starting from 0. That's why it is 0 from 0 to 10. Because from 0 to 10, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is total 11 rows as well as 11 columns. So here, as you can see, if let's say I is here and j is here, okay, so whenever I equals to 0, this thing I have to print star. Whenever j equals to 0, I have to print star. Whenever, let's say here, if I equals to here, whenever I equals to last element, and last element is what? So here n equals to 11. So here last element will be n minus 1, which is 10. Okay, so at that point as well, I have to print this total star. And when j equals to 10, then that is n minus 1, I have to print this. Okay, so now this four condition I do have, that is when I equals to 0, j equals to 0, I equals to n minus 1, and j equals to n minus 1. This four condition I do have. Now what else I can do here? What else I can do here? Instead of now here, as you can see, that is a fifth row and fifth column, which is what? When I equals to 5 and j equals to 5. As you can see here, when I equals to and j equals to 5. But how could I get this 5? Let's say here n equals to 11. Let's say n equals to 20. In this case, what will be the middle row and column? It is simple. We'll just divide it and we'll get the quotient of that. It will give me the middle one. So here in this case, what is this? What is 5? How would I get this 5? So I will simply do n divided by 2, which is nothing but 11 divided by 2, and then I will get 5. If it is an even number, then 12, let's say 12 is an even number, divided by 2, it should give me 6. It's pretty simple. So whenever I equals to n by 2 or j equals to n by 2, so here whenever I equals to n by 2 or j equals to n by 2, I should print that star. Now all these 6 condition I do have. Now what else I can do? What else I can do here? Now this is done. This is done. This is done. Now if I have to print this diagonal, how could I get this? How could I print star in this diagonal? So if you see here at this point, let me change the color. If you see here, when I equals to 0, j equals to 0, there is a star. When I equals to 1 and j equals to 1, there is a star. Whenever I equals to 2, j equals to 2, there is a star. Whenever I equals to 9, j equals to 9, there is a star. So whenever I equals to j, I have to print star. It is pretty simple. So here the next condition which I get here from this is this: whenever I equals to j, print that star. So here this diagonal also I know that how could I print this. So now what else is remaining? So here if I have to print this diagonal, how could I get this? How could I print star in this diagonal? So here as you can see, whenever I equals to 0 and j equals to 10, so here as you can see, that is I equals to 0 and j equals to 10. So that is 0 plus 10 is how much? 10. Or else let's say here, if I equals to 2, j equals to 8, I equals to 2 and j equals to 8, it is what? 10. When let's say here, when I equals to 7, j equals to 3, 7 plus 3, it is giving me 10. So whenever I am adding I as well as j, it should give me 10. And how could I get 10? N minus 1, which means whenever there is I plus j equals to n minus 1, that is I plus j equals to 10, at that point I can say that there I have to print star. So here whenever I plus j equals to n minus 1, at that point I have to print the star. Now diagonal also we have come to know that how could I print at the print star at the diagonal position. Now we'll see the small diagonals. If I have to print this, how could I? It's pretty simple. Just now we have did. So here as you can see, if I equals to 0 and j equals to 5, I have to print I and j 0, 5. Whenever I equals to 1, j equals to 4, 1, 4, I have to print star. Whenever I equals to 2, j equals to 3, I have to print star. That means if I'll add this, I'll get 5. If I'll add this, I'll get 5. If I'll add this, I'll get 5. So similar this condition which we did just now, same condition we have to do here. But now instead of n minus 1, what do I have to do? I have to get this n by 2, that is 5. Simple. So here the next condition which you come to know, which you can conclude is this, that is whenever I plus j equals to n by 2, just simply print star. Okay, so now let's say next, this is done. Now if I have to print this thing, this diagonal, how could I print this diagonal? It is pretty simple. As you can see, whenever I equals to 5 and j equals to 0, I and j, I is 5, j equals to 0, I have to print a star. Whenever I equals to 6 and j equals to 1, I have to print star. Whenever I equals to 7, j equals to 2, I have to print star. So as we can come to know that whenever I and j, if I will subtract this, 5 minus 0, 5, 6 minus 1, 5, 7 minus 2, 5. So here we can say that whenever I minus j is equals to 5, that is n by 2. Similarly, which you did earlier, that is I plus 2, I plus j equals to n by 2. Similar same condition we have here, but instead of addition we will do subtraction here. So here whenever I minus j equals to n by 2, I have to print star. Okay, now this is done. Now what is remaining? So here as you can see, how could I print this diagonal, this small diagonal? How? So here as you can see, whenever I equals to 0 and j equals to 5, I have to print 0. I have to print a star. Whenever I equals to 1, j equals to 6, I have to print a star. Whenever I equals to 2, j equals to 7, I have to print a star. Whenever I equals to 3 and j equals to 8, I have to print a star. As you can see, if we will subtract j minus a, not I minus j, if we subtract I minus j, 0 minus 5, minus 5, 1 minus 6, minus 6, 2 minus 7, minus 5. So here instead of this, we'll subtract j minus j by 1. So here j minus 1. So here 5 minus 0. If I show you here, that is whenever 5 minus 0, it is giving me 5. Whenever 6 minus 1, it is giving me 5. Whenever 8 minus 3, it is giving me 5. So here we come to the conclusion that we have one more condition here, that is whenever j minus I equals to 5 is what? N by 2. Just print a star. Simple. So now what is remaining? What else we do have to print here? So here, as you can see, now one more that small diagonal is remaining, which is what? Which is this one. And how could I get this? How could I get star at this position? So here, as you can see, whenever I equals to 5 and j equals to 10, I equals to and j equals, okay, 5 and 10, I have to print star. Whenever I equals to 6 and j equals to 9, I have to print star. 6, 9, I have to print star. Whenever I equals to 7, j equals to 8, I have to print star. So here what you can come to know that whenever we do addition here, let's say here 5 plus 10, I'm getting 15. Whenever I'm adding 6 plus 9, I'm getting 15. Whenever I'm adding 7 plus 8, I'm getting 15. So how could I get 15? That is simply n minus 1 is 10, n by 2 is 5. Okay, so 10 plus 5 equals to 15. Simple. So this is all the conditions.